Happy Tuesday to my favorite seventh graders. Today is an asynchronous work day, but I will have our individual support open all day. So if at any point anything comes up, I am there to help you. A couple of things I wanted to remind you about. If you have not done so yet, make sure you check out the resources and add to our AAPI Experience Padlet. We're going to be continuing this conversation on Friday, so it's going to be really important that you have done like that initial work for that. We will also be like touching base around that on Thursday too to kind of make sure we are ready. So just a heads up, make sure you are taking care of that. Um, Y'all, today, when you get started here, you will see I'm asking you to start with a little bit of reading zone time. So if you haven't set aside any time to start reading, please make sure you do so. Don't forget that that reading zone time is also always like a really good time to make sure you're updating your reading log or as well as like that list of events from your reading. So just make sure that is on your radar. When you get into your actual work today, you will see I'm asking you to kind of do a little entry task to review who you are talking to. This is actually where you will see this video. It's very meta. um, on here, I'm going to kind of check in about what you remember when we talked about code switching, standard American English, and like audience appropriate communication. So you'll kind of go through these questions in order to check in with yourself. Now, you may be thinking either, wait, but I actually don't remember what was happening with that yesterday. Or you might also be thinking, like, I actually haven't done that work from yesterday yet. Just as a quick reminder, yesterday we looked at academic language and code switching. Now, quick recap, code switching is basically just when you change how you're speaking based on who you are speaking to or the environment that you're in. Now, that can be literally speaking, or it can be any type of communication, whether it's like writing or even more like subtle things, like if you're using like hashtags, things like this. Often, when we talk about code switching, we end up having to talk about standard American English. Now, the reason we're talking about this is because while it's totally normal to code switch in different settings and talking to different people, everybody does that. There are also situations where people are forced to code switch as like a function of white supremacy, classism, a lot of elements. Standard American English, which is not a real concept, but instead the way that most upper to middle class white American adults language is described, is called like professional or proper. There's nothing actually inherently professional or proper about it. This is a means of controlling like power and who has access to it. So it's really, really important that when we talk about doing things like speaking for the appropriate audience or things like this, that we keep in mind why there would be a different way to speak to like an appropriate audience or what's actually going on there. Now, what this means for you today, as you are going through and start revising your argument. So you're looking at your argument, you're double checking that you feel good about how things are phrased and put together. You are going to want to make sure that you are fitting your writing for your audience. Now, for example, I have a little reminder here for if you're writing for your peers. I give you a little acronym. It's KISS, and that does not mean kiss your audience. Please do not do that. It stands for keep it simple and sweet. So you really want to make sure you're engaging and clear. Like, talk to your age group how you would talk to your own age group. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Don't stress it. Instead, literally talk to them how you normally would. If you have a more formal audience, such as like a school board or a government official, then you're going to want to go instead for this like sounding a little bit fancy. You're going to want to double check that you're using past tense verb forms. Um, I can't tell you the rationale for why that is, but I can tell you it is a function of the expectations there. You're also going to want to avoid things that you might consider to be like slang, contractions, which is where you're pushing those two words together, or even idioms, which are going to be ways of describing things that aren't literal, right? They're kind of like our little everyday metaphors, sort of. Um, your goal is to basically use this for your work today to simply review the work that you have done so far. I'm not asking you to do anything new. I'm not asking you to, like recreate the wheel here. I'm just asking you to revise your writing so far with audience in mind. So what does it look like when you're actually working? Well, here you can see an updated assignment tree for your work today. I have added in both of these next two pieces that you'll be looking at. We haven't talked about our in-text citations yet, but we will go over them tomorrow, as well as do a brief peer review. So I really want you to make sure that you are ready for this. If you were at the very bottom of our tree here, or top, directions on this is a little confusing. But point being, if you're ready to dive into action, I have sources here to actually help you do that. If you are taking an action that does not fit with these or you need different supports, let me know. I am here to help. I actually already have a friend helping with some ideas about how to transform some of the work that y'all are doing, like the action, into a zine, which will be a different way of presenting information. Basically, revise what you've done so far and then dive into these action steps if you feel you are ready. Let me know if any of this does not work for you. Again, I am here to help. Y'all have this. We can do it. All right, y'all. Have an amazing Tuesday. Thank you for listening to this video all the way to the end, mind you. And if you got this far in the video and you are still listening, send me an email saying Miss Kaufman is the best ever and telling me a candy that you would like me to bring or something different if you'd like that. But I'll bring you a little something for listening this far. All right, y'all. If I don't see you today, then I will see you tomorrow. Take care.